Part 2. Letters and phone calls on your behalf. At Legal Shield, our attorneys will send out letters and phone calls on your behalf. A lot of people do not understand what this means. Our lawyers, when they send out letters and phone calls, are not charging you or billing you for these letters or phone calls. All right? They're going to get to the nature of what you're calling about. In a lot of situations, it can be resolved. The nature of the call, the nature of the legal disturbance can be resolved with their letter or phone call. Our lawyers are already prepaid. They're experts in the field that you're calling about, because we're going to give you an expert attorney in the field you're calling about. And a lot of times what people don't understand is, since our lawyers are already prepaid, they're interested in fixing and helping your situation, not billing you. So you're not going to get a bill for them sending out a letter or phone call on your behalf that can actually fix the situation. So say, for instance, in my situation, I had my cell phone company bill me for the full cost of my phone, even though I was in a contract and I was paying monthly. They messed up and they kept billing me for the full price of my phone. Well, each time that I would call, the cell phone company kept saying they fixed my problem, when in reality they did not. And so the following month I would get a bill that was not only charging me for the cell phone bill, but they were also charging me interest for that bill. And then each time I call, they basically were telling me, okay, Mr. Jansen, we fixed it. Finally, I had enough, because we're talking about $1,000 bill here, because the full price of the phone plus your monthly charges. So what happened was, I talked to a manager and they're like, okay, we fixed your situation, blah, 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 blah. And they didn't. The next month I got it, and they were charging me interest and penalties for the full amount that I wasn't paying, even though they kept telling me they were fixing it. I called up my provided law firm. They got on the phone with me. We called my cell phone company together. Of course, once again, we were getting the runaround. My attorney insisted on speaking with the manager. The manager told my attorney, well, they didn't believe there was an attorney on the phone. So the attorney made it very clear, you will put your supervisor on the phone. They put the supervisor on the phone. My attorney stayed on the phone with me for an hour, because the cell phone company, not the law firm, was giving us the runaround. The attorney very clearly made it that once we got the supervisor, they finally got a head person in charge, put on the phone. So then the supervisor, whoever the cell phone company had on the phone with us, they're like, fine. The attorney said, you will now send us over all the paperwork showing you got it fixed. Okay? They're like, no, we're staying on the phone until you send the paperwork over to the attorney's office so that we can see it got fixed until the matter got resolved. The attorney was not happy with the cell phone company, because they tried to give my attorney a runaround, and the attorney would not have it. By the time it was done, we had the matter fixed and resolved. Plus, we had a letter stating that it was fixed and resolved, and that no further issues. They took care of it, they backdated it, and the matter was then closed. I was happy because my attorney was on the phone with me the entire time. And on top of that, I had proof and paperwork, if it were to come up again, that not only was I in the right and they were in the wrong, but the interest and penalties, the lawyer made sure that they took off there, because that was their fault, not mine. And because they did not fix it, I should not have to pay for a problem that was their fault, not mine. To me, that was awesome that they made a phone call on me at my behalf. The other situation that I can tell you with letters and phone calls is each year I get my daughter for the summertime. They send out those letters on my behalf according to the court papers that I have to send a letter to my daughter's mother a month in advance letting her know when I get my daughter. I have the provided law firm send out letters on my behalf to make sure that it's all legal, that there's documented reports when I send out. My daughter's mother has no problem with that at all, and the court system's happy because I have a letter sent out every year for when I get my daughter in the summertime. Other letters I've had sent out are for when I've had my clutch go out on my Jeep and the company put in a used clutch and told me it was a new one. They actually sent out letters to the company that put the old clutch in stating, you will resolve this matter or we'll see you in court. It took care of a $2,000 bill for me, and it prevented us from having to go to court. And I got an apology from the company. A lot of the times people do not have backing, and because some of these companies are so big, they don't put the clients first. They don't put the member first. Meaning, that's the reason why letters and phone calls work. How about if your insurance company, you get flooding in your basement? One of my friends, his basement flooded due to a water pipe breaking. Well, they were able to shut down the water pipe, and the insurance company refused to pay for the pipe. Long story short, the insurance company had an ironclad agreement, but the law firm sent out a letter on his behalf saying, look, we've been paying for years, and because of a technicality, I don't feel that was right. Anyway, they sent him a check for the price of how much it would be to pull up the concrete and put in a new pipe in his house. Now, did the insurance company have to do that? No. But because the attorney sent a letter saying he was not satisfied with the insurance company's outcome, the insurance company did not want to lose him as a client, so they made right what they didn't have to based on a lawyer's letter recommendation. Now, I could give you 1,000 examples that I use for letters and phone calls on my behalf, but I'll tell you what, I get matters resolved because I have an attorney sending out letters and phone calls for me. They will send out letters and phone calls over the trivial all the way to the traumatic, and because they're not interested in billing you, they're already prepaid and they're monitored, they're doing what's best for you on your behalf, and it makes you not have to worry or stress about the trivial issues in life. Those are over letters and phone calls, and I can go more in depth later on, but that should give you an idea that they will send out letters and phone calls so that it can prevent you from having to go to court, prevent you from having to have those extra fines or fees placed on you, to help you get rid of those, past due notices. They will help out in those situations.